So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And I think also too, I remember when I got COVID, I was like, wow, I have to lie down. I can't sit up for very long. So the fact that we can even sit up and are well enough to come along to this practice. And I'm just going to put myself back to gallery so I can see you all. And have your feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart, and shoulders aligned with the hips. And as best you can, your ears align with your shoulders. And maybe try and be sitting on top of your sits bones. And go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and your forehead, your eyes and eyebrows, the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the back of the tongue, the ears, the back of the head, the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And notice the sensations of your breath. As you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sound in your environment, allowing those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then be aware of what's going on in your mind tonight, putting some space in between the thoughts. Trying not to judge or criticize what's going on in your mind this evening. Just give yourself a little bit of a break. But it's always good to know what's there. And as you're breathing, recognize that part of breathing, in a way, you're massaging some of these internal organs. So whether you're running or walking or sitting and breathing, whether you're doing yoga or swimming, to some extent, the organs are being kind of massaged. It's almost like squeeze and soak. So no matter how gently you're breathing, notice it's also serving a purpose to keep everything flowing. And bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, strangers, the ones you don't like, remembering these relationships are interchangeable, they're equal, as well. These people, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for our Buddha mind. So I think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, for all the people in this, been coming along to this group who've got, various bits and pieces happening in their life. For anyone in this group that's been coming is not very well. And yet another big thing happening there. I think it was New Orleans. This is just very strange. It's kind of level of violence that sometimes you read about in the news. It's like it's almost hard to get your head around how angry somebody must be to want to do something like that. So it's also something to be grateful for, that we're not suffering in that way, with this enormous levels of anger, wishing to harm. So I think we'll do this practice for all these people as well, all the angry people in the world. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day or on this life or in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience because we already know how uncomfortable suffering is. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think, I'm sick of suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us, but purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So this is why it's in this section called reliance. So we think about people we've harmed recently and in the past, and then think about, these people that we've harmed, having a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then think about those people who've harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with this body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And now Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, harsh speech. All this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Nimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapasamayam Manupalaya Vajrasapadina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasapasamayam Manupalaya Vajrasapadina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ah hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam jayam guru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ah hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ah hum he. So I feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including you. And next is this purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, you imagine you've walked into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness and bitterness and grudges and anger and jealousy, disappointments, depression, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, all my delusions. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Rita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Rita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Guru Hung Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam guru hung ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum. Okay. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So this one is a little busier. So you imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. So, start with the purification of the body. So the second time around, purifying the body, nectar comes down, then purifying the speech, the nectar goes up, and then the light comes blasting in. So you've got all those things happening simultaneously and filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hung ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahumpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hung ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahumpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hung ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahumpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahumpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorekta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum. Okay. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the fourth of the four opponent powers, the power of resolve. And this is really crucial because this is where we make a decision to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So we just have to decide. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts coming along here. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Could be your speech, something you do physically. You just sort of go through that process, regret, and then think about some kind of timeline. So don't lie to yourself like, I'm never going to do this again. Likely you will. So just keep it short. Like for 5 seconds, I'll watch my mind, or for 5 seconds, I'm not going to swat that fly. Whatever it is, keep it simple. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with you, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So he says like this: in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me might just not be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Which one are we on? The yellow one?
Uh, 122 through 124. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Stood tall atop the surface of the earth, the soul of just 1 foot pervading all, stood tall atop the summit of the world, the nail of his big toe suppressing all, whose aim is one, whose aim is non-dual Dharma, whose aim is ultimate beyond destruction, whose mind consists in groups of consciousness with varied objects, forms, and cognizance, amused with every object of existence, a mind of passion-loving emptiness, transcending worldly passion and the like, with great enjoyment for the threefold world. Okay, everybody. Let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lamsa Rinpoche. I think Venerable Rubina was saying the other day, this Padrila had this dream where I think Rinpoche took her hand or something and said he was very happy where he was, and he's in the mountains somewhere. So I don't know if that's an indication that Rinpoche's been reborn. I'm not sure, but anyway, somehow that got out. I don't know if it's supposed to be secret, but it isn't anymore. So maybe Rinpoche's already here, who knows. Anyway, thank you, and also for your own teachers. We should have a strong wish for them to live long as well. Okay, everybody. Lots of love. Good night. Looks like Judith's fallen asleep, so did you want... Okay, good night, everybody. Lots of love.